So welcome, Babellion. We're on the top of the roof again, and today's guest is Thomas Smith. So do you want to introduce yourself? Or like plug anything, or?
Yeah, I'm Thomas Smith, retired from Temple. It's my way of saying it.
Yeah.
And then I work full-time with a production company called Cinescope Films.
Oh, that's so cool. What do you do at that place?
Yeah, so I do, I'm a shooter and editor for them, so I do all sorts of stuff from corporate, weddings, commercials, some narrative here and there, a lot of documentary stuff, so just kind of all over the place, whatever we can get.
So how did you start cinematography or get into film in general?
Yeah, I started like really getting into it when I was like 15. And when I was first starting to get into it, I reached out to my now boss, Colin Passman. He was shooting football videos for my high school team. I was like, oh, these are sweet. I want to do that. So I reached out to him and was like, hey, I like what you do. And he was like, all right, come shadow me for a game. And then shadowed him for one game. It was like the last game of the season. And from there, I started shooting photos for the football team the next year. And he was still shooting the games, doing video stuff. So we kept in touch there. Then we lost we didn't like lose contact. We just kind of like went our separate ways for like another year or so. Then I got his gig when he stopped. I started shooting for the football team, doing video stuff. And then around the same time, he was like, hey, we need editing help. You want to take on a few edits? And then started shooting weddings. And then was on and off with that for a couple years. And then this past February, they're like, hey, we need a lot of help. So kind of got roped in there, and here we are today.
What is your favorite thing to shoot, like whether it's like a football game or a wedding?
Yeah, I mean, not weddings. Oh my God, not weddings. My favorite thing, I love shooting sports. Sports are super fun. I love narrative too, like having a story and being able to spend like a couple hours planning out a shot or like setting up lighting for a shot is just like the coolest thing of all time, because you get to really dial things in with narrative. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. I mean, anything with a camera, like having fun because you get to be creative with it and you know, tell a story through a visual, so that's fun.
Most definitely. What is your kind of like process or like routine before, when you're like making shots or before you shoot intense scene, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends what it is. I mean, like a wedding, there's really no planning. We're just like, all right, we have to be there at this time and just show up, and we know what we're doing because we've done so many of them. But say for like a narrative thing, it's you know, you want to have some pre-planning, and when you don't, you get screwed over big time. And I learned that the hard way. But you know, I don't know, I need to get better with planning stuff, but just kind of like feel what's right. And I think for most shooters that know what they're doing, it's a lot of it just comes naturally, because you can be in the middle of the shot and, you know, change something real quick, change focus to something else, tilt the camera a little bit, pan it left, whatever you want to do, and just kind of flows naturally.
Yeah, weddings, I would say, are so annoying to film, because I filmed one like a couple of summers ago, and I just like absolutely hate it. Like,
yeah. There's something special about them, and I think they're great to train you as a documentary filmmaker. I think there's no better training to shoot documentary stuff than weddings, just because you have to know exactly what you're doing with a camera. You need to think on your feet. You need to like problem solve really quickly, or else you're screwed. So I think that's the best thing about weddings, is it really teaches you how to think on your feet, problem solve, get things done quick, and get the best possible images and audio and all that stuff, which for documentary is necessary.
What makes you love filming documentary? Like documentary based stuff.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's great, I'm not like a huge doc person, but one thing that's cool about it is you're talking to real subjects, and like it's not, you need to talk to the people, and if you don't have a story already, if you have like an outline of a story, you have to go in and with all the footage that you capture, create that story in the edit. Make sure you got to think on your feet, you got to plan in your head, like, okay, there's a storyline here with this one line this person said, and if you want to go that route, you can go that route. If there's another line you like, you can go in a whole nother direction. So it really keeps you on your toes, and you got to think really. It's not just you can't just show up and just like mindlessly get pretty images. You got to think like, okay, how's this going to play into a story that we're trying to tell?
Documentaries are like my favorite form to film and stuff. What, due to like everything that you just explained, because I just like love capturing like moments and times, or like capture people's story that may not have like been able to be told.
Yeah, for sure.
So like kind of like my experience with documentaries, sometimes like you get a break or like a lucky accident that like you just like is kind of like so perfect to like help carry that story. How do you have any of those moments while in your experience with that?
Yeah, I mean, happy accidents are just the absolute best. There's nothing better in the world. There's nothing that makes my heart happier than a happy accident. So we're Cinescope, we're shooting over the summer and spring. We were shooting this pilot for a docu-series about car racing at like an intermediate level. So it's this guy has interns, and he gives them an opportunity to race and stuff like that. So it's just telling that whole story. So I was in West Virginia for a weekend shooting one of their race weekends, and it was one of my favorite moments I've captured shooting documentary stuff. There was an issue with the car, so they were working to get that done and to get the car back on the track, because it's endurance racing. The car's running for hours and hours and hours just to see whose car can hold up and who can race the fastest. So there was an issue with the car. They had it solved, and so the car goes, and they have to the car's going back to the pit, and they have to like run through this parking lot to get to the pit. And I have a handheld rig following two guys, and then pan over to the other intern who's running as he's putting on his race suit. And it's like he looks right at me and goes, "Best job I ever had," puts his head down and keeps running into the pit, goes straight up into the pit, and they're all putting on their helmets and stuff like that, getting back in the car, fueling up the car, and then they take off. And it was just such a cool moment because everything just kind of flowed so well, and it was one of my favorite shots that I've done in a while.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
That must have been like such a good moment, like during it and like after as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, and you just feel the energy in it. Like you got the shaky handheld camera, you're just running through everything, and you just couldn't have timed it out any better. So it's like a little happy accident. You're like, oh my god, yes.
That's like the best feeling in the world. Like when you're doing those shots, that like there's a lot of like manual like kind of not like I guess labor, not I don't know kind of how to describe this, but like how are you able filming those shots to kind of like keep the camera steady? Like is there any tricks that you follow?
Honestly, for a thing like that, it's super shaky. It's, you know, and I think it's something to be said about like a handheld documentary because it's just raw and it feels real. I love handheld cameras, as cool as like gimbals, Steadicams, all that stuff are. So there's something to be said about like a fun handheld shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about you? You got any happy accidents that you like?
Like, I can't name like off the top of my head, but like during editing, like the most recent one, I've been editing this project for school, and it's a pre-filmed because I'm in like the post production and like concentration, so it's like pre-recorded like film, and we kind of have to split it together.
Yeah.
And I overlaid music to it, and just to see how it kind of fit. Like I didn't do anything, like I didn't time anything perfectly
it just
it.
worked.
Yeah, it just worked with like
it's
every
the
single
best
beat.
feeling.
Like I didn't have to edit it, like do any editing. It's just
the best feeling of all time when you just plop a song into an edit and it just works.
Yeah, like I don't understand how like those moments happen, but it's just like it's so relieving.
Did you have it edited to was it edited to different music before?
No, so like I like edited the clips together, and then I put like sound effects over it.
Sure.
And then I put the music in, and then it's
you can't
like
get any better than that.
And there's this like one shot where glass, it was a fighting scene, and this guy, he like falls on the ground, and it breaks, and glass handle of bourbon, I think, like falls on his head and it breaks. And like there's this one beat that like matched up with his like breaking. It's
there
like,
you go.
Yeah, it's like beat, and then it like landed.
Oh my god, that's awesome. I'm getting jealous just hearing that.
But like those like happy accidents are like the best thing in the world.
Oh my god, yeah.
I guess kind of switching pace a little bit. Why did you choose Temple to go to college?
I originally all through high school I was like, NYU, film school. And then I went and visited and it was like, I don't see the appeal. Didn't like it. I wasn't really crazy about it, and also $80,000 a year for that.
Damn.
I was like, I don't see it. So I had I'd applied for Ithaca, Pace, and Temple. Temple was always my number one just because it was close to home, and love Philadelphia. So I got into all of them, and Temple just was probably the one I liked the most. So yeah, it was.
What makes you like Temple, or what made Temple appealing other than like it's close to home, I guess?
Good question. I don't really know. I was just like, all right, yeah, their film program seems cool from like the tours and stuff like that, and it was like I just like Philly, and I had heard like such good things about the school. Turns out wasn't for me, but in the year and a half, 2 years that I was here at Temple, I was like, I don't know, I didn't love the film program personally. I was like, there's nothing I could teach myself all this. I knew all of it before I got into Temple. I took one class that I liked, which was moving camera, which you learn Steadicam and jibs and dollies and all that fun stuff. So like you're actually getting hands-on experience with stuff. That was definitely the best class I've ever taken. But other than that, I don't know. It was not bad, but it wasn't doing it for me, and that's all.
Honestly, I'm kind of getting the same vibe too. Like I'm taking this advanced editing, quote unquote, and I feel like the stuff that I'm learning in this advanced editing should have been taught in the intro classes and stuff, because it's like it's the shortcuts, like how learning the shortcuts to like different like frames.
To me, I feel like that's basic editing.
And then like getting like the technique down. And Temple is in a great location, and Temple is like a great school. I just feel like they're simplifying it a little too much.
No, I agree. one thing that was tough for me to keep remembering was, you have people that come into school and they've never touched a camera or editing software in their life. So they have to start with the basics, but then it kind of screws the people that like had put in work beforehand and know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It screws them over because you're like, okay, I know this already. This is, like, I learned this when I was in the class. Be like, all right, I was doing all this 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's like the same like just that I'm getting now too, and like even like when I first like got enrolled, because like I started like film and stuff when I was 12, and like started really editing around the same time like you did. So I'm like I already know all of these, so it's kind of like I'm just bored sitting in class. Like why am I paying like this much money just to learn stuff that I already taught myself?
Yeah, or get assigned to watch a movie that you're never gonna watch.
Yeah.
And can just watch on your own time.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I feel like you can learn everything on YouTube University. You really can.
Yeah. It's insane how much like information is on YouTube.
Yeah. All the basics I learned on YouTube. I didn't have anyone teach me that. I was just like, all right.
Yeah. So you kind of, at the beginning of the podcast, you kind of said that you retired from Temple. I guess you kind of already explained it, but what was like the most like main factor that made you drop out?
Yeah, for me, I said the months leading into coming to school, I told my parents and all my friends, I was like, I mean, I'm just here to like make connections, and if I can get work, but because I started shooting, making money doing work when I was 16, so if I was, as soon as I could get consistent work, I said I was out. Just because, I knew I wasn't going to be taught anything that I couldn't be taught working in the real world.
Yeah.
So, once I started working for Cinescope pretty much full time, I was like, all right, this is outrageous. And then over the summer, it was still up in the air if I was going to come back or not. And then we were looking at the schedule, and there was just no way it could have happened with both. Because I'm working, oh my God, excuse me, working like, I don't know, 50, 60 hours a week probably. So, it's...
Ain't no way you'll be able to do college in that.
No, I mean, working in the office 9 to 5 when we don't have shoots, and then weddings every weekend. It's outrageous. There's no way it could have been done.
That was kind of like my mindset going into college as well, with like I'm mainly here just to make connections and meet new people rather than the education, because like I feel like like we said previously, like you can learn most of it on YouTube, and then if you can find consistent work like you're doing, there's not really like point in college. I guess that's a good time to transition a little bit. What is it like filming advertisements / like games for the Flyers?
Yeah, so the Flyers hire us to do, they outsource to us to do a bunch of stuff. It's funny, you think Flyers, professional NHL hockey team, they have to have like a great media department. It's really nothing crazy. So they outsource pretty much everything. So we do a lot of we're doing some single game ticket advertising. So like little 30-second TV spots to promote tickets for the games and stuff like that. And then I've been doing some photography for them during the games as well. And we have a documentary series that we were doing last year with them and continue to do this year with them that actually won an Emmy a couple weeks ago.
Damn.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
What was that like hearing that you won an Emmy for that?
That was sweet. Yeah. The episode that won I personally wasn't a part of, but it was still really cool. I mean, it was a cool story. It was a great story. The whole premise of New Heights, which was the series, was different minorities involved in hockey. So we had the black community in hockey, women in hockey, and LGBTQ in hockey. So the women in hockey one was the one that won, and they're just all cool stories. Just how these groups of people that aren't normally shown in the sport of hockey are how they're still going about doing the sport that they love.
That's such an interesting storyline.
Yeah, it's so cool, and I'm excited to see what stories we're gonna have this year. So that they're always a lot of fun.
What viewpoint are you doing for this like docu-series? Or like the main like theme, I guess, because the last docu-series, you're kind of saying like kind of filming like the minorities within hockey players. What's kind of the theme for this docu-series?
I believe the next episode that we're doing is completely lost my military and hockey. Like military people in hockey, and like a salute to service almost. So I believe that's the next one we're doing, if I remember correctly, but not 100% sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, no, it'll be great. It's always cool to see different stories, and like we were saying with documentary stuff, seeing real people and sharing their life stories is pretty awesome.
How is it like interacting with the Flyer players?
It's cool. It's working with pro athletes is always, everyone gets all wigged out about it. I feel like if you haven't done it, and then once you do it, it's, they're just normal people.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you can curse, but like some of them are kind of dicks, and they're just real people. Like, you're shooting photos of them for media day. They don't want to be there. They just want to play hockey.
Yeah.
Or when I was shooting some stuff with a couple NFL players 2 summers ago, they're just training, and we're just kind of there taking photos and video. They don't want to be bothered. We don't bother them. You just kind of you just do your thing. They do their thing. Just go on with your day. How
was that experience filming the Eagle players?
Yeah, that was sweet. So I was with a trainer who was training all these guys, and we were just creating content. Didn't really go anywhere, but it was a cool experience nonetheless to have that on your portfolio. Having got some really awesome footage over that summer, great photos. So at the very least, got some really cool stuff for the portfolio.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't go anywhere financially or anything like that. Yeah.
Was that the first time where you were interacting with professional athletes?
I had worked with one pro athlete before, Najee Good. He was on the Eagles Super Bowl team. We had shot a pilot for a show back in 2017 or 2018, I believe. And it was a car show, and he was getting his car redone by some people we knew, and it was just a test pilot to see like, this is a cool idea. It's a car show working with athletes, so you're hitting a lot of good demographics there. Ended up not really going anywhere, as most things in the film industry do, that on a smaller budget, most of them don't go anywhere. Shocker. But still a cool experience nonetheless.
Were you a fan of, sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
You're
but are you like fans of the Flyers and Eagles and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, grew up in the area, so Philly sports fan, but was never really didn't really follow the Flyers, so I didn't really know any of the players. I'm just like, all right, these are all just people.
Oh, okay.
Like, I've heard their names, but I don't really know who you are. Don't really care. Eagles stuff was cool because I had known a lot of the players: Malcolm Jenkins, Rodney McLeod, Jalen Mills, Avante Maddox. So they're like big name guys. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like it's another day at the office.
I guess that kind of answered my leading up question for that was like, did you feel like shell shocked like meeting them for the first time if you were like a huge like Eagle fan or Flyer fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's just like,
Yeah.
but after the first like 5 minutes and being like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's Malcolm Jenkins, one of the
Yeah.
best safeties in the league. You know, it's, for me at least, when I'm working,
Yeah.
just kind of do my thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no reason to get all sort of flustered for it.
Yeah.
Just isn't a need to.
When like filming documentaries and stuff, that takes a lot of, not, I guess that, yeah, elements of like journalistic or journalism and
Sure.
kind of research gathering and stuff. Do you like that aspect of kind of gathering like information before you film a documentary, or just like the journalist aspect of it?
It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, for me, I'm not a huge documentary shooter, like I said, so I kind of like just showing up. For most of the stuff that I've done, I just kind of show up and learn as I go. Yeah, I prefer more narrative stuff when I'm like telling a story. It just functions easier for my brain to like know exactly the beats that we're going on. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. But pretty much that's the answer.
Yeah. I guess it takes some research as well to narratives. I guess you're mainly just like filming and like kind of showing up to film and stuff, but do you do any like little research before you shoot a narrative to kind of better understand storyline?
Yeah, not really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because I think the script is really all you need. If you have a good script, you know exactly what you're doing. You know the characters' motivations. You know how they're feeling. You know all of that. And then when you get there, when you're watching the performances, if something shifts, you work with the shift. So, I mean, the most research I'll do for narrative stuff is just like, all right, where are we shooting? And how are we going to light this? And how are we going to shoot this? But, I mean, that's probably I'm speaking for Cinescope as a whole, probably our biggest downfall, because we don't really plan out a ton of stuff, and that is super important. But yeah, it's, we don't really have time to plan when we're backed up 30 weddings and a whole bunch of corporate stuff. It's like, do we have time to plan if we can figure it out when we get there? You know what I mean?
That makes sense. How do you manage all of that work? Because we were kind of talking about this before the podcast, but like when you said you had like 30 weddings backed up, I'm like, holy crap, that's like a crap ton of weddings. I guess, like, how do you manage all of that?
Good question. We have no idea. We're only backed up so far. We were shooting a TV show over the summer called Road Trip Masters. It was on Discovery for a little bit. It's on Amazon. I think it might be going back to Discovery. No idea. But so we were traveling all around the East Coast all summer, and we haven't had a full week in the office since May. So you just get backed up, and when you can't cut for a couple months, stuff's gonna pile up, and then you gotta really grind towards the end of it.
Yeah. What? I guess there's weddings like year round, right? Or is it more of just like fall, summer, spring?
Yeah, fall and spring are our busiest times of year with weddings, but you'll get a couple throughout the whole year. Winter, a lot of people don't, just because it's cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, fall is usually the craziest, and this year we had the COVID reschedules, all the stuff we had already booked, so it just got freaking nuts.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How was it like filming in Nicaragua? I can say this perfectly in my mind. I don't know why I'm... Nicaragua.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that was a cool little experience. That was another TV show pilot that didn't really go anywhere. Yeah, it was a cool thing. It was really last second that I got brought on. I think the DP dropped out like 2 days before they were supposed to leave. So Colin from Cinescope called me and was like, "Hey, wild question. Do you have a passport?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You want to come to Nicaragua on Monday?" It was like Saturday on spring break, and I was like, "Okay,
That's
sure."
crazy.
Yeah, so we were down there for like 4 or 5 days right before COVID. So that was our like last little hurrah before we got shut down. But it was really cool. I mean, going to a third, I don't know if it's a third world country, but close to it, and seeing a whole nother culture and all of that was a really, really cool thing. And just seeing the people there and talking to all the people that are, because the whole show is about people that are like making a difference in underprivileged areas. So seeing what was going on there and how people are trying to help and all that sort of stuff was really cool.
What was your favorite shot from that whole experience?
Oh man, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It was like a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
But everything looks really good from it. I mean, it's a pretty area, got a lot of cool stuff. I don't really remember like a specific shot that I was like, yeah, that's awesome. But I mean, shot some monkeys, that was cool, I guess. Everything looks good. It was fun. It was a cool experience. Scary, would never want to go back, but you know, cool experience nonetheless.
What made it scary?
They have a very oppressive government that was killing people when we were there. For anyone that spoke out against the government, we were driving back to the airport like 2.5 hours the last night, and one of the guys that has a business down there was like, "Listen, if you get pulled over, call me immediately because we're gonna have to get in touch with the American government. You're gonna get taken captive, and they're going to try to extort money from the government to get you back home."
Damn, that's
and we
insane.
didn't know that, and I found that out
That's
probably like 6-8 months ago, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
That's insane.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh, it was so scary, and we had like 30 grand worth of camera gear down there.
Dang.
None of us, only one of us spoke Spanish, and a bunch of white people, white dudes.
Yeah.
It was like 3 white dudes. Little Asian girl Lucy, who was our DIT, and it was just, and then the 2 producers, and one of the producers spoke Spanish. It was just like, all right, we're just doing it.
Yeah.
So spooky.
Dude,
never want to do that again.
That just like gave me the chills. That must have been like a surreal and like scary moment.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And then I got told later. It's like, oh, I think I didn't know that, because I would have just lost my mind.
Yeah.
We're driving like 2.5 hours down a pitch black, windy road
Yeah.
to the airport from this like little mountain town that produces tobacco, and just no one.
Yeah.
It was scary, but
Yeah.
fun nonetheless. Never want to go back, but it was fun.
I'm glad that you made it out safe.
Oh my god, me too.
Were there any other moments like that where it was kind of like, holy shit, like I'm in like
we were in this like very poor town, and they were saying to us like, we have to be out of here by 5 o'clock because we can't be here when the sun goes down. You just can't. So one of our shooters and the girl that took us there were driving around getting footage, and we just stayed with our van, and there was a bunch of little kids playing on the street, so we were just like taking some photos of them, hanging out with them. Next thing we know, like there's probably 20 people that are just kind of like standing around the van, and they're like, let's just stop and get back in the van. So we go in the van for like 5-10 minutes, everyone goes away, but they were grilling us hard.
Dang.
It's like, oh my god, we're about to get killed.
That must have
bunch of white dudes filming their kids, and it's just like, oh my god, what is going on?
That's so crazy. I would not know what to do in that situation.
No, it was scary because like we don't know, they don't know us, we don't know them. We can't talk to them, they don't know what we're doing. We have a bunch of big cameras. So that was wild experience, but it was cool nonetheless. Happy I did it.
When you were like posting about it, I was like so jealous. I'm like, damn, like That must have been like such a like fun experience, and then I was also like super excited for you because like that seems like such a rare thing to come upon.
Yeah, I mean, for being like 19 and getting the opportunity to do something like that was really, really cool. And having done that has got the connection with the producers had gotten me involved with other sets and stuff like that, and given me different opportunities to shoot different things. So, just one little thing can do a lot for you, which I think is awesome in this industry. The industry is all about who you know.
Yeah.
It's all it is. Some people may be better, but if you don't know the right people, you're never going to get anywhere, which is the tough part.
I think once you like make at least a couple connections, I feel like making connections like after that point gets more easy. Do you find that to be the case, or?
For sure, because I mean, I don't have a ton of connections that like give me work, but so it started with the first connection, Colin with Cinescope. He got me connected with the producer Rachel. She got me connected with this other guy, Kevin, who brought me on like an HBO shoot doing a drone shot for stuff. So it's just like one thing leads to another. It just kind of piggybacks off each other because shoots overlap, people overlap, and you just talk to people, meet people, and then people get in a jam when the normal crew they can't use aren't available, and they're like, all right, I remember this person from this shoot. Let's see if they're available. So it's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
That must be also another great feeling as well when it's kind of that snowball effect is happening. Have you been outside of the country other than Nicaragua?
For work?
Yeah.
No, not not out of the country, but done quite a little bit of traveling around. Actually, quite a bit of traveling around the country for work. Did like a 2.5 week trip to Texas that we drove down there. So that was sweet. Was in Miami over the summer. Bunch of places around the East Coast over the summer as well. So seeing going to Vegas in like 2 weeks, which is sweet. So see a lot of cool stuff, which is awesome. Being able to travel, do what you love, get paid for it. Can't beat that.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
Yep.
Do you see yourself staying in Philly? For a while, or do you think you're going to move around?
I'm not sure. I don't really have any set plans right now. I mean, I'd imagine I'll be in Philly for a couple years at least. But I really don't have any plans right now. Growing with Cinescope, and for now it's just kind of seeing where it goes. Don't really have any set plans for where I want to go or what I really want to do. I mean, I want to get into more like concert stuff, doing a lot of sports stuff, want to do more narrative stuff. So just couple types of shooting that I want to keep doing and get into, but no real plans, honestly.
Okay.
Just playing it by ear, seeing what comes up.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how my brain operates as well, kind of like going with the flow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the best way to do it. I mean, having a plan is good and all, but I think going with the flow is also, you gotta, because if you have this like rigid schedule, nothing ever works out as you plan. I would rather like not get discouraged by a plan not working out and more just kind of going with the flow and being like, something comes up, all right, weigh out my options. Like, is this a good idea? Is it not? Blah, blah, blah. You get it.
Yeah. Especially in film too, you kind of have to go with the flow or you get screwed over.
You have to. The amount of times I've been like called and be like, hey, can you do this tonight or tomorrow? On such short notice, it sucks, but that's just how the industry works. Things come up so quickly, and if you say yes to them, sometimes it'll do nothing for you other than a headache. Other times it'll be like a great opportunity, make a lot of connections, make some money, be on a really cool shoot. So, it's cool.
Yeah.
That's what's awesome about the industry.
It's just such a great atmosphere too if you get on like a great set with like people that you actually like too.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than that. If you're enjoying with who you're working with and enjoying what you're doing, even if you're not making great money, it's just so much fun.
Yeah, and then I feel like with film, we kind of like already said this too, but like if your personality is like very to the point and like following plans and stuff, like you're not going to get anywhere, I feel.
Yeah.
Within film. And it's like meant for like with the flow kind of
It
personality.
just things come and go so quick. You gotta try to plan a little bit for the future. Like if like things aren't going anywhere in a couple years, then maybe try something different. But the whole industry is just like taking a chance on things, and a lot of times they don't work out. Most of the time they don't work out.
Yeah.
It only takes one thing to really go, and you're set.
Yeah, and you have to. I feel like you have to have a. I forget the phrasing for this, but thick skin, I guess, in the industry too. Because like when things don't work out, you can't like dwell on it. You have to like keep moving forward.
100%. Oh my god! If you don't have thick skin, you're not gonna make it anywhere.
Yeah.
In the film industry, you're just not.
There's so many dicks too. Like.
My god! Everyone's such an asshole. Really are. I mean, I shouldn't say everyone.
Yeah.
But most people in the industry are assholes, especially when you get like higher up and stuff like that. Oh my god, they're all assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you gotta have thick skin.
Exactly.
Because it's all creative, and you're getting judged on what you do and what you're passionate about. So you're gonna get judged on it, and you better be okay to take it and run with the criticism.
To kind of wrap this up, kind of to end on like a light note, how or what is your musical taste?
Musical taste.
Yeah.
I've been told I have the music taste of a lesbian. That's what everyone says. So I don't know. Big Harry Styles fan, big Phoebe Bridgers fan, Lorde, Bright Eyes. Who else do I listen to? Fiona Apple. All the indie bitches, I guess, other than like a couple bigger name people. But yeah.
What makes you like that kind of or genre of music?
I don't know. I think a lot of it's lyrics. I love a good, well-written song. Just because you can tell so much by words, even if you don't know exactly what it means. They can like create a feeling of like, and I don't know. I think music's really important. Relating it back to film, I think, good music in film, there's nothing better than that. If you have a good needle drop in a movie or something like that, oh my god, it's just the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah.
Good music, say you're doing like a little highlight film for something. If you have bad music, it'll take it down, but you put the right song in, it just works.
Yeah.
There's a couple directors that are just so good with music. Scorsese, Paul Thomas Anderson, Quentin Tarantino. They're all so good with music. Even if it's like, whether it's original or just stuff that they add in, it just makes their stuff that much better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, how about you? What kind of music are you into?
I've been kind of stuck. I want to like expand my like music taste because I feel like I've just been listening to the same artist over and over again. But like I love Mac Miller.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
did you listen to his new album?
Yeah, apparently I thought it was a new album, but apparently that was like it was released later. It just wasn't up on Spotify.
Oh, yeah. I don't really know what the deal with that is, but I was listening to it yesterday. Really good.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah. The guy's the man. Swimming is just like, that album is so good.
Yeah, that's my favorite album of all time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that got me through senior year. I just listened to it so much.
Exactly. Like senior year, like if it wasn't for swimming, I would not have been able to get through senior year.
Album is just a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's
so good.
Yeah, it's just like calming too, and then like if you're like stressed and stuff as well, it's like kind of mellows you out.
Yep, exactly.
I've been listening to a lot of Kendrick Lamar too.
Okay.
And then Surfaces. I'm trying to think of a couple other bands or like individuals that I've been kind of listening to. I can't really think of any more off the top of my head.
Hey, at least live music's back now. Yeah, which is an awesome thing. Yeah, I got all these fucking musicians are making me go broke. It's outrageous. Yeah,
it's crazy because like I went to like 2 or 3 concerts already within the span of like 2 months, and it's
I know. Before COVID, I had only gone to like 3 concerts and Made in America like once or twice. And since mid-September, I've already been to 3 concerts. So it's fun. I'm pissed I didn't do it more when. But you know, here we are now, and it's cool and it's fun. And
it's so cool.
Being in a group of people all enjoying the same thing there's nothing like it.
Yeah. I saw that you recently went to a Harry Styles concert. How was that?
Oh my god, it was outrageously good. I like blacked out during it. I don't remember any of it. I was like dead sober and I don't remember any of it. It was so good though. A lot of fun, great energy. It was at Madison Square Garden, so it's like an iconic venue. But a lot of freaking fun. Yeah. Ground was like shaking half the time. It was sweet. It's funny, I saw Phoebe Bridgers back in September, like mid to late September, and 2 weeks later I saw Harry Styles, and just the vibe difference is so funny. And then I saw Lucy Dacus last night.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and the vibe difference there is so different as well, going from Madison Square Garden to Union Transfer. It's just so different, but it all has its own character. They all have their own like little things that's so special about them. That's what's awesome about concerts. It's like, you know, they're real people. That's what it is. You know, it's fun. Yeah.
Out of those 3 concerts, which one did you enjoy the most?
Oh, man. Phoebe and Harry were both so good. Because they're my top 2 favorite artists right now. Oh man, I don't even know. I'd have to say Harry Styles just because it's just like I've been wanting to see him for a very long time, and Phoebe as well. But I think there was just a special energy at that Harry Styles concert. But I don't know, him and Phoebe. Those 2 concerts were so special in their own way. So I don't think I could decide between the 2 of them.
That's such like a good feeling to like see concerts like that.
I mean, we were like 3 rows back from the front at the Phoebe concert, so it was like, you know, oh my god, you're right there. That's awesome. So yeah, they were both so special to me, and I'm super happy that I got to see both of them.
That's so cool.
But I couldn't pick which one I liked better.
I guess that is a really hard question.
I mean, you can't. I don't know. You just can't do it.
At the Harry Styles, I didn't go, but like I saw people like posting about the Harry Styles concert, and it looks so cool. Like I was like, dang, he really like had such a great like performance.
He's a great performer, and quick show though. That was the only issue I had with it. It was like he blew through the set list, and he's like, all right, we got 15 minutes left. It's like, wait, what do you mean? You just started. I don't remember any of the songs he just played, but I remember like 10 seconds from each show, and I'm like, oh my god. It was awesome though. Super fun. I
feel like that's when I go to concerts, that's normally how I am. I'm like, it happens so fast that I barely remember a lot of it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because like I just went to the Hell Mega Tour back in August with Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer, and that was
at Citizen Bank Park, right?
Actually, no, I went to the Pittsburgh one and
Okay.
PNC Bank, that stadium.
Okay.
Cause my girlfriend Janet's brother lives in Pittsburgh, and we all are fans. But that was like a great, like, crazy atmosphere too, because it's like 3 huge bands.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess we can kind of wrap this podcast up. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for talking with us, or me, and yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.